I hate when my husband works late. Being at home, alone at night, hearing every little creak. It's uncomfortable. I thought I was just being paranoid. Then my girlfriend said she felt the same way when her husband travels. Until they had what she calls their Vivint talk. Vivint, my friend calls it the best home security system out there. It's super easy to use and fit right into our budget. And I love my video cameras. I can see what's going on in and around my home right from my computer or smartphone. It's actually kind of funny. I told my husband, if you're going to be traveling or working late, I'm getting Vivint. And it's made all the difference.
Call now. Not only is installation free, you'll get up to $1,500 worth of Vivint security cameras and equipment today at no charge. Seriously, $1,500. Just pay as little as $99 for activation. Call 877-776-3430. 877-776-3430. 877-776-3430. Restrictions apply. 48 or 60-month agreement and minimum $49.99 per month required. Not available in Louisiana. See Vivint.com for license numbers.
Blog Talk Radio.
To my show. It is Friday, and I hope everyone had an amazing week. I'm your host, Diana Belleros, award-winning author. You can find my books on Amazon and my publisher's website, Infinity Publishing. Today, we have an amazing woman, author, Betsy Otter Thompson. She's my guest for a second time. The first time we talked about her book, The What Happens If. Today, we'll talk about her book, LOVEHUMAN. Betsy Otter Thompson is, in addition to walking through illusion, Jesus speaks of the people who shared his journey, published by all books. Betsy Otter Thompson is an author of the following books: The Mirror Theory, The Way to Inner Peace, Resolution and Transformation, published by Hampton Publishing, 2005. LOVEPARENT, How to Be the Parent You Hope to Be, 1991, published by Ascension Publishing. LOVEHUMAN, How to Be Who You Love, 1992, published by Ascension Publishing. You Are What You Think, Make You Fuck Delicious, 1993, published by Ascension Publishing. The What Happens If book, How to Make Reaction work for you instead of against you, 1996, published by Ascension Publishing. And she's here today to tell us everything about LOVEHUMAN, and of course she will share some information about the rest of the books she has written. So hi, Betsy Otter Thompson. How are you today?
Hi, how are you today, Diane?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for being on my show for a second time. I'm so happy to have you. And I wish you all the best with all the wonderful all the wonderful books you have written so far. So please tell us about your book, LOVEHUMAN.
Well, LOVEHUMAN is about finding comfort in a world where uncomfortable things happen and seeing the big picture of where we come from, where we are going, so that we gain some perspective on what this journey is all about. Because it has all the questions. I wrote it from, my own questions of my life and what the meaning behind it was. And the message that I received helps us to embrace the world as it is and people around us as they are, and to love whatever that is, not because it's a perfect world, but because as we love and accept people and everything as it is, love and acceptance grow. And so we want to give our energy to what is positive so that positivity grows. And so that's what the book is about a lot. And in between there are a lot of veering off into different categories.
Wow, that's amazing, and this is wonderful message. Yeah, we should have to learn to accept people the way they are and love them the way they are. Don't try to change them because sometimes people try to change others to fit their perception, which is something we shouldn't do. Because
yes.
to be,
We can't do it because we don't know what they're here to live. We don't have any idea. That's, our soul, my soul knows what I'm here to live, and your soul knows what you're here to live, but we don't know what other souls have in mind for the journey. So it's a lot of wasted time and a lot of wasted energy to focus on what other people are living. Instead, really, we're here really to focus on our own journey and what we're living, and if we're creating what we want to create for ourselves.
Absolutely. That's very important to allow others to be who they are and to see what they're capable of. And when they are who they are, they're happier and they can do more about others and they can have a happy life. And, of course, we want to see everybody happy and fulfilled. And, of course, this helps to have happier families, happier children, and the things go on and on and on.
Yeah, well, not everybody can be happy every second, but if you can find the growth in what you have lived, or you find the growth in the pain, that's what it's all about. Because that's why we live it in the first place. We don't go through ordeals for no reason at all. We go through it because the soul believes that we can find growth from going through it. So when we find the growth, the ordeal is over, and we move on to wherever we can find more growth.
Absolutely. What is your advice in the book in this kind of situation where people are trying to change others to be somebody they're not? Is there something like a chapter?
I think they're spending a lot of energy where it's destructive instead of constructive, because why would you want to attract that back? Do you want people to come into your life who try to change you? Because if you put out the energy that people aren't measuring up or they aren't living what they're supposed to live, then that's the kind of person you draw back into your life, the person who says to you, you're not the person you're supposed to be and you should be living something else. So you have to ask what kind of energy you're putting out there, and if you want to get it back. If you want to get it back, if you don't want to get it back, then don't put it out.
Absolutely. It's like your mirror theory, a theory, the book you wrote about it. I think you're talking about.
Yeah, we live in a world where energy, everything is energy, and energy is. We live in a balanced universe of action-reaction. The cosmos is balanced, and so therefore, with all the planets, and therefore everything in the cosmos is balanced, and we are part of that. And so we live in balance too, but our balance is emotional. We don't necessarily get back. I mean, if we act towards another in a cruel way, we don't necessarily get cruelty back from that person, but we get it back from somewhere because we've put it out into the universe that we think it's fine to be cruel. And so the universe, the universe thinks everything is love, so the universe interprets that as your idea of love as being cruelty, and then it sends your idea of love back to you. So ask yourself if you want to receive what you're giving, because if you don't want to receive it, you need to change what you're giving so that you do like what you get back.
Absolutely. Everything is energy. We are connected with one another. That's a very important issue, and everybody should be aware of it. And very often people ask themselves, why this happened to me? What did I do to trigger this? And I think this answers the question.
Yes, well, we can't. I haven't always known why things have happened to me that have happened, but I have known how to. I didn't know for the first half of my life how to deal with it, but I eventually realized that everything that came to me was an opportunity for me to see myself and what is happening and how I was growing from it. Because I think the soul in all of us is wise, and therefore the soul never has us living something that isn't helpful in some way or another in terms of our own personal growth. And so it's about having faith in our own soul, and I think as soon as we have faith in our own soul and the wisdom of what it brings to us to experience, then we can have more faith in the souls of other people, because they're living here just as we are for the growth they need, and not the growth we need. People progress for their own sake, not for our sake. We have our own lives to progress through. We don't have to have other people doing what we think they should do. We only need to do what we want for ourselves.
Absolutely. And talking about the soul, how important is for the person to be themselves, for the soul to bring the best out of them? How important is this?
It's everything, because we come here to be our who we are. We come here to be our authentic self. And in fact, in my own life, it wasn't until really halfway through my life that I was willing to acknowledge the gift I have of communicating with spirit. And I'll tell you that the negation of that talent and the living in blame that I was doing got me almost homeless. And so it was as soon as I acknowledged the gift and said, I'm going to acknowledge the gift, I'm going to use the gift, and I want to share it with others, but I need a job to support me while I do it. And 3 weeks later, I had a job in the entertainment business that I had for the next 18 years and supported me while I did my writing. And so it's almost like the universe is waiting for you to be your authentic self. It's waiting for you to acknowledge who you are and why you came here and what you're here to do. And then as soon as you do, the universe rushes in with all the support you need to be that person. And if you don't have a specific goal that you think you have in mind, then just love everything that your soul brings to you, because that's what you're here to do. You're here to appreciate who you are and what you have created for yourself to live this journey.
So do you picture your life if you didn't take this risk, you didn't leave everything behind and just went to California to try to see what is there for you?
Well, I followed my instincts in going to California. I had a little spiritual experience where I think I knew as a child that I wanted to go to California. I always had thoughts of going to California. And I was in New York at the time, and I had this, I don't know how to explain it. All I know is I was walking down the street by myself, and I heard a voice inside of me say, it's time to go. And I knew exactly what I was supposed to do. I had my apartment sublet in 2 weeks, and in 3 weeks I was in California, and I went there, didn't know anybody. I just knew I was supposed to be there, and shortly after I arrived, I went to a meeting one night. A friend asked me to go to a meeting one night, and it turned out that it was Marianne Williamson speaking on the Course in Miracles. And from that day on, I knew that my life was going to turn around, and because I was hearing these ideas about taking responsibility for the choices you have made and what your life is, and as soon as I took responsibility, instead of blaming everyone else for the situation I'd gotten myself into, I attracted people into my life who were also taking responsibility and not blaming others. So I know how this attraction of energy works firsthand in my life, because I can tell you that there wasn't anything good that happened from blaming everyone else, except that I attracted a lot of blamers back to me. And as soon as I took responsibility for who I was and for the fact that I had made the choices I had made, I attracted people into my life who were also taking responsibility and taking and using and being the person that they came here to be.
Absolutely, and a lot of people I'm hearing around are very skeptical about the energy, how the energy works, and they're not open to the idea that on the energy level we actually attract the same people on the same energy level. So what can you tell to these people? Can you please explain to them how this works?
They can experiment on their own. I mean, there's no mystery about it, and there's no mystique attached to it. But you can't prove to another person that it works. You can only tell them that they can test it and see what happens. You know, if you don't think it works, then be mean to somebody and see what happens. You'll see somebody will come into your life and be very mean to you, and that's the only proof you really need. Then if you want to test it I recommend testing it in a more positive way and giving something of yourself to others in some way that makes it comfortable for you, and then attracting people into your life who are comfortable with you and giving to you. I mean, it's not